And we are with you once again for this week's topic on the CBC Home Service Success Network. And this is brought to you every week by CBC Success Group. And just like always, we hope we're bringing you a good topic, something that's been really hot. Every time I've gone to a convention this year, National Chimney Sweep Guild, HPBA, this is a topic that is on a lot of people's lips. And to be honest with you, I think it's a great thing. And that is how AI, artificial intelligence, can help you escalate and grow your business and also save a whole lot of money by using this and add a creative force with a brain that is just enormous of what it can do. And the more you use it, the more it knows about you. So, what can a home service company, the people that we do this broadcast for, off and let's talk about some of the things. Number one, AI phone answering, booking jobs. That's probably the biggest impact we're seeing out there. There's also AI systems that will help you qualify your leads coming in and do your sales follow up. You got smart scheduling, dispatching, customer communication becomes on autopilot. It's automated. Predictive maintenance. Right now, I understand there's thermostats out there that can notify the installing company when it's time to service it. And that brought to mind things that we could do in chimneys as far as that goes. If we had monitors in chimneys that said, hey, you're getting water in this thing, or hey, your creosote's getting bad, you need to have this unit swept. Think about the possibilities here, guys. It can give you marketing that actually converts your customers because everybody's talking right now that leads are down. So how about using it in your marketing? I know your marketing companies are. I actually sat with one at HPBA this past week, and it was really amazing the things that marketing company had added in. It can do a lot of your administrative work right there in the house. It can optimize your revenue and your pricing. You know, the whole thing about AI, it's not going to replace your technicians. It's not going to replace craftsmanship. And it's sure not going to replace field expertise. We still got to have those things. But there's a lot that goes on behind the scenes of a home service business. You know, here's the whole thing. The companies that are winning with AI, what are they doing? They're using AI to answer more calls. 24 hours a day, those phone calls are being answered. Holidays. They're booking more jobs. They're tightening up their operation, and they're following up better than their competitors ever thought about doing. So if it's something that you haven't gotten on the bandwagon with yet, then you need to do this. I mean, you're talking, I'm not a computer geek. The other two people on here probably are much more knowledgeable about computers than I am. And I'm using this every day. I think that I consulted AI technology 20 times today. I'm using it for research. I'm using it in a creative mode. I just finished a seminar the other day that I had AI pull me and give me a complete outline for a day-long seminar. It's doing the thinking for me, and it's saving piles of time of getting stuff ready. So, Josh, let's go to you. You're using AI. Tell us about some of the stuff that you think that AI can really help people out in the home service avenues.
So one of the things we've been doing recently is doing audits of our CSR phone calls. We can load in what metrics we want. Things like, did we ask for a dryer vent cleaning or about a furnace flue? See if they're hitting these things. We can download the phone call, upload it, have a transcript and the phone call graded within a matter of seconds. That was one of the things we're doing now. The other thing is when I do these audits and we have like a large audit and we're auditing, like say technicians for certain things, I can get insights based on that. It'll analyze it for me, tell me who's performing, who's not performing, things like that.
Yeah, it's tremendous what's out there. In fact, I actually have a concept I'm working with right now for chimney inspections that I actually talked to an AI developer this week about ways to do this that could greatly enhance the communication of what's going on in the field. It could also greatly decrease the potential for litigation to happen. So, Cheryl, what about you? You've been in computers since way back in the 60s. What's your thought on AI?
Well, the thing about it is, at first I was a little leery of it. I think we'll all be a little leery of it, but I use it quite a bit. I use it to help spiff up, if that's a good word, my hiring ads. I use it to, if I need to figure out if I'm doing it correctly, I put in what I recorded, and it shoots out the questions. A lot of times you don't know if certain things are proper. I do, but there's sometimes there's a fine line, and you're in the gray area. And I can find out from AI, okay, can I say this? Can I not? And then I analyze every one of my interviews is analyzed by AI. So it's helping in that. Plus, I've used it in quite a bit of personal ways, and I think if people will just use it in the way it should be used and not be afraid of it, I think it'll actually improve what we do. At one time, I thought it was going to take over our kids' minds, but I've talked to some experts lately, and they're saying that there's a group of students that have been turned loose with just AI, no teachers, and they are excelling in their grades. So maybe it's a thing that's actually going to work in school. And again, will it ever take away the trades? No. Somebody's got to move the stuff and do things. AI can't do that yet.
And there's so many different systems out there. If you look on it, we got Gemini, we got Chat GPT. I recently sat through a seminar and I was amazed what Google Notebook LM could do as far as from the creative side and all the things. I'm really impressed with the ability to be creative, the ability to build images, building slides. I recently did a presentation at the NCSG convention, and every slide that I did, I had AI create the image for me. It did it on what I wanted, but it was amazing. I would have probably spent a week building that particular program, and AI was able to create a slide for me within less than a minute for each slide. I just described what I wanted to do. Now, something else that I've started using is this little thing right here. Now, it was a little frustrating, as Cheryl can tell you, when I started using this, but what is this? This is an AI note taker. And what this thing does, this can pick up voices from up to 16 feet away. And I recently did a SWAT meeting, had quite a few people in the SWAT meeting. But what I was able to do was I was able to record the entire SWAT meeting word for word. At the end of the SWAT meeting, I was able to pull a transcript of the entire meeting of what went on. I then fed it into AI. AI gave me a summary. It even built me a mind map, the flow chart of what these people needed to do to get to where they're wanting to go, building flow charts with an artistic flair. That is hard to do. Josh, you're big into flow charts. That's been a big thing you've done over the years is building flow charts. And you can spend a lot of time, but AI can create this kind of stuff. And I think that the results, I think, are slap beautiful. You can go in, tell it to change it, tell it whatever you want it to do, and it does it for you. It's amazing. So, like I said, when you get into it, AI really isn't brand new. When I look at it, I think of answering machines were a form of AI. I think Google Maps, GPS, all these things. When you look at it today, when I started in the service business, hey, we had to carry a bag of maps with us for everywhere we were going, and the maps were always getting outdated. And we started using GPSs. It's another advancement that you can use to really move your business to an extremely higher level and automate so many things that you are spending hours and hours of your week taking care of. So, Josh, what else are your thoughts on this subject matter? Because I think it's a hot ticket for everybody to be looking at.
Yep. You can use it. Cheryl talked about writing, but building your marketing campaign, I've done that. just build a drip campaign, or even if it's the fundamentals of your drip campaign. I've given it some guidelines and had it come back at me with some of that. So building out your marketing is a good way, because building a marketing calendar for the year is very difficult. As I've done them in the past, and you talked about those flow charts you've seen me build over the years. Some of those took weeks to build.
And Josh, I'm going to be honest with you. Don't take this personal, but they don't look as professional as what AI can produce for you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'm
I
talking
know.
about just the appearance. It's just a lot more professional than you're going to do on your desktop.
In my defense, Brandy was doing them on paper and I was putting them in the computer.
And I understand that, Josh. What I'm saying is AI has the ability to make it look so much more professional. Like we've used mind maps for years. Excuse me. But now creating, an infographic, as it's called on there, to create an infographic by just typing in what you want, and your results come out within 30 seconds to 45 seconds. It's truly remarkable what this can do and how it can save you time. It's like right now, Josh, one of the things that you are implementing for a couple people that we work with is an email follow-up system. How is that working? Because you just started implementing this, and a friend of ours actually has had this design. What's your experience right now with this email follow-up system you're using?
So it's pretty neat little system. It in that, this particular one sends from my personal email address, which I thought was phenomenal idea, because it gets you around some of the spam rules. But that's what I used the AI for, was to start customizing my campaigns to the customer's pain. So instead of just sending a generic one, I made 6 campaigns, and to the main pain points that we're focused on, and then in order to get better results that way. Because if I had done it on my own, because I always hated writing anyways, but I did it out of necessity, writing all these SOPs, but I was able to focus on pain points and to drive points home.
Well, one of the things about the chimney business is everybody gets really busy in the fall. Everybody is backed up. And to be honest with you, what happens is, from my experience, is people drop their follow-up during the fall. They just don't sustain their follow-ups. And then what happens every year in January, all of a sudden, the phone goes dead, the work starts drying up, and now we got to recoup. But the people that did the follow-ups through the fall, they've got steady work still coming in because they have sustained the follow-up process through the fall. And that's where I see this system here of implementing it and then just clicking the button. How long does it take to fill in that form, Josh?
15 seconds.
Okay, so 15 seconds, then you click the button, and then the automated follow-up is going on. And be honest with you, I'm hoping to get the developer of this system on here before long. I gave him the opportunity to come on here and do an interview to tell us more about this, because he is a home service contractor and he saw the need for this in his own business. And he has spent quite a few bucks out of his own pocket to develop this. So, Josh, you think this is a good program?
I do. I think, it's still in the development phase a little bit, but I definitely enjoy the simplicity of it. Just, hey, wham, bam, let's get this lead in here. Let's let the system do the work.
Yeah. So, Cheryl, what else? What will be your additional thoughts? I've got some other things I want to talk about here on this, but what's your thing?
Again, I think it's a form where we can deal with it and expedite the speed. I mean, we're always saying, there's not enough hours in the day. Well, this is one way to buy back some of those hours without paying cash. And so if people will use it, and again, not be afraid of it and learn to control it. The thing about it is, you've got to put in some parameters. And I think that's where a lot of people that I've talked to are having a problem with. They're almost afraid to ask it anything or to tell it the direction they want it to go in. But you can totally fine tune this thing down to it's an unreal level if you just spend the time with it.
So let me ask you this, because this is a true factor. Some people are scared of AI. I mean, realistically, they are scared. Why do you think they're scared?
Well, number one, TV, for lack of a better word, the act of AI taking over the world. Then the other is just a lot of them are afraid they're going to take their jobs or things like that. Instead of looking at it as an aid to improve their job, they're looking at it as someone that, or something that's going to take their job. So I think it's just the unknown reality of where this thing can go.
Okay. Josh, you just typed in Terminator.
Yep. That's the first Skynet's the first AI, Jerry.
Tell me more.
Well, I'm assuming you know about the movie Terminator with Arnold Schwarzenegger.
I've never watched the movie, Josh, so help me out here.
Oh my God, Jerry, you have been deprived of a pleasure
I'm
in
sorry.
life.
Certain movies, they may enter. It's just like tattoos, Josh. You like tattoos. I don't want to sit there and get a needle poked in my arm, okay? We each have our own choices. So tell me about Terminator and where this ties together.
Terminator is the movie from, is it the 80s? I think maybe the 80s. Arnold Schwarzenegger gets sent back in time by an evil AI after the evil AI arms all the nuclear weapons on the planet and wipes out all of humanity.
Okay. So
That's
you think that's what? So you think people are scared of AI because of the Terminator?
Everyone from my generation thinks about that every time you say AI, without a doubt.
Really?
100%. I can guarantee it.
Okay. So, but again, do you want to build your business? Would you love to get more productivity? You know, it's really amazing as I did research for this, you know, you want to analyze data, detect issues before they fail, trigger service calls automatically. Josh, what do you think it would be like in the chimney service industry if we had AI meters in a chimney that would tell the consumer, hey, it's time to get the chimney checked?
They still wouldn't listen.
I think it would be phenomenal because it's working great in the HVAC industry where they have these AI, thermostats that are feeding the information back to the company and says, hey, Mr. Jones needs his filter changed. All these, I think there's just high potential here as we go through this. And I think if you're going to be a progressive business owner, because here's the thing, if you don't use these tools, guys, you can bet your competition is going to be using them. Your competitors are going to get an advantage over you. It's like one time I remember doing a seminar some years ago. It was first heat shield seminar. And they interviewed some people afterwards and asked them the question, why are you here? And this guy answered, who was a friend of mine, client for years. And he said, I'm here because I want to know what the next things to move into. And I hope my competition isn't in here because I want to get the upper hand over the competition. That's where you're at here by making use of these tools. When you start using these tools and you see how easy it is to use these tools, like I said, I need an answer to a technical question this week about a dryer vent. Now, I could have went over, got a manual off my shelf over there, went through the index, found that information, and probably had my answer in probably 4 to 5 minutes. But by having AI, I typed the question in and I had an answer there immediately. So how many times through the day saving 4 or 5 minutes will be a benefit to you if you're listening to us? Think about it. I'm using it. I would say that I'm hitting AI probably 20 times a day right now to do research. Cheryl, how many times a day you think you're hitting it?
Probably 10, 12, and some days more. It just depends what I'm doing.
Right. Josh, what about you?
Less than you two, but as my wife were here, she'd tell you I already know it all, Jerry.
And that's the whole thing. Yeah, you are kind of cocky, just to be honest with you. And yeah, you do think you know it all. But here's the thing, this brain has a better memory than you do or I do.
Yeah, oh yeah, it
This
does.
this brain remembers everything you fed into it. Everything you fed into it, it's in that brain. Have you noticed that the more you use it, the more it gets to know you?
Yeah, my chats are definitely focused on fireplace and graphics and things like that. So my graphics are definitely getting better. Um my responses, because I had all these SOPs, so apparently I write like a caveman, as I've been told before, and I can get it to enhance and clarify that language of some of this old stuff that I've written and get it to just enhance it pretty quickly. If you need to update an SOP, what you should be doing on the regular, um, it does it in seconds. And the one thing you talked about that I'm going to bring up is to get time back out of your day. Uninterrupted time is even more precious than just time, because when do you get uninterrupted time as a business owner?
You
And if
know,
you can do that, if you can use the AI to help with that, that's even more exponentially valuable.
and you talk about SOPs. So the other day, I wanted to test it, and I typed in, "Please create me an SOP for a chimney service technician." Clicked enter, and probably, excuse me, in a minute and a half, it sent me a heck of an SOP. Did it needs a little bit massaging? Yes. Did I need do what I need before I would send it to somebody? Would I need to go and go through it? Yes. But if you look at it, I think it's a great thing. It's like in emails. I'm probably the worst speller in the world. Cheryl's shaking her head, yeah. So when I type an email, what's happening is AI is checking my spelling and my punctuation as I write the email. And I can see right there what I got to go back and change. It's right there because it just puts a blue line under everything. And I write an email. I got piles of blue lines. Hey, I'm a terrible speller. I admit it. But a lot of times when I want to write a more of an official email, I'll go in and write the email and I'll feed it into Chat GPT. I'll say, please make this look more professional. And it does that for me. Something we ought to think about doing every time we communicate with a customer. So we look like we're a little more knowledgeable and a little more educated. Because the last thing your customer wants is to deal with someone that doesn't have a lot of education. And that's what misspellings tell them. Hey, you're not a really bright guy. So using these tools to increase your own professionalism, it can do a lot for you. It can do a lot for you. It really, truly can. Cheryl, anything else you'd add to this tonight?
No, I just think people need to back out and try it a little bit. I think that's probably the biggest of some things. I mean, we're not in a young generation, you and I. And I know a lot of people in our generation that has never touched it. So I think you can benefit from it if it's nothing but a poem to your kids. Doesn't really matter. I think you just need to try it, get a feel of it. And if it's not for you, then it's not for you. But don't put people down that do use it, because it is a good tool.
There you go. Josh, what else would you add in?
I would have it just ask it to start make graphics. Ask it to make a graphic of a chimney falling off a house. Start with little things like that, and then and then you can learn with little things like, well, okay, but what about the angle? I need the house to look like this. And you start learning how to feed it information to get some of that, those things there, all, how's I want to say, to get the image that you're after. Is it going to be perfect all the time? No. Do you have to use multiple AIs to get what you want? Absolutely. Because sometimes image creation just is not what you're looking for. Sometimes I use 4 different AIs from Firefly, ChatGPT, Gemini, and Flow to get what I'm looking for.
Okay, tell me what Flow is. What does Flow do?
Flow is used to be just the Google videos, but now it includes a program called Google Image and Google FX. I'm sorry, Google Image, Google FX, and Whisk was what I really liked using it for. But that's where I'm creating my images using some Google, so they have more tools for creating images in it.
Okay, so let's talk about image creation. I
Yep.
know that in your career, you have paid a guy, I believe his name is Eugene, who lives in Spain to
Yep.
do images for you.
Yep.
Has this reduced the need for you to call upon Eugene?
Tremendously, because I can make the graphics in 5 minutes. A lot of
Okay.
I don't know if you've dived into that new wiki site I provided you, but all those graphics inside that in there are all AI generated. Especially if you dive into the FAQs, they're all AI created.
Okay. Okay.
So-
So let me show you something here. I'm going to bring this up. A while ago, if I can find my right one, here it is. A while ago, Josh said you could create an image of a chimney falling off a house. Am I correct, Josh?
Yep.
Okay. So when you said that, I typed in to create that image. There it is. That's how long would it take you to hunt for that image, Josh, if you were wanting to make that image?
Oh, 15 minutes probably.
15 minutes. Now, and this is how simple it works, guys. And like I said, we're no experts at this. So I can simply say, please edit this photo, this image, where the chimney is connected to the house. If I can spell right, as you see, my spelling's atrocious.
That's the one thing I don't make fun of you for, Jerry.
You don't make fun of me for that?
No, mine's probably just as bad.
Yeah, it is. And that's where ChatGPT, do you want it see, here's your questions. Leaning against house, rebuild or damage? I'm going to put leaning against house instead of falling. Let's see how long it takes us to do this. So I'm going to put that in, copy it, paste it right here. Let's see what happens. Hit the enter button. It's thinking. It'll tell you right there. It's analyzing. It's thinking. Now it's building your image. Is this coming through okay, Cheryl?
Yeah.
Okay. It's building the image up. And you can see the cursor just running around. You'll see an image come up in a minute. There you go.
It was 12
There's
seconds.
another image that was created. How long did that take?
12 seconds.
That's what I'm talking about, folks. That's what's so remarkable about this whole system is the speed, the creation that you want.
I think, Jerry, the thing I like the least about it is people are using it so much on Facebook, you can't tell which photos are real and which are pulled out of AI.
Yeah, because the image is created over what you want it to. So yeah, I mean a lot of stuff is AI created. A lot of videos you see, they are AI created. People are creating some fantastic works here. It's really unreal. Okay, there you go. Josh just put up. If you're having trouble explaining a scenario to a customer, ask AI to illustrate it. Ask AI to illustrate it. That's simple.
A picture's worth 1,000 words, right?
That's exactly right. So, Josh, it's an experiment. Let's play here for a minute, okay? Whoops, wrong one. Sorry about that. So, share screen. Back to the same one, share. So, Josh, give me a problem I would want it to illustrate. Let's show them how this works.
Odors in a chimney.
Oh, Okay, create an image.
Yep.
There's the spelling again. Okay, I've typed in what we're looking for, hitting the arrow button.
Because it is springtime, and this is when these things start to.
Correct. So since chimney is the main business we're dealing with, that's why we're talking chimney. Even though we call it home services, hey, we love to talk to other industries. But again, just thinking of it. So it's going to be interesting. See what it comes up with in creating an image. Root causes of chimney odors. And it takes a minute. Always your image will always be blurred. Is it do that on all of them, Josh? All the systems you're using?
No.
It doesn't.
Mm-mm.
Which is the best image creator?
I like them all for different things.
Okay.
Because like for flow, I can get more realistic images.
Yeah.
Sometimes I just can't communicate what I need with Gemini. Sometimes I'm working in Gemini, said, hey, just create me this image. Oh, stop sharing your screen.
Yeah, I know. I took it off on purpose.
But that was I didn't get a chance to really sit there and analyze it, but that was a pretty nice image.
It was a very nice one. Hang on, bring it right back up and we can look at it again. Let's see. There we go. Let me share screen again. Coming up. Okay, it's back on the screen. You should be able to see it.
Yeah, it did. I mean, it left off house pressurization issues. So we would need to modify that.
Okay, let's do that. Add house pressure issues.
Yep.
What else you want to add?
Hold on, I'm trying to.
Let's do leaky. Let's do bad flashing.
Yeah.
Let's put bad chimney crown. Okay, now let's see what it creates. And that's how easy this is. You can edit it, make changes, but we're doing this in a matter of minutes here, guys and gals. I mean, Cheryl, while this is doing, whenever you do disc assessments, isn't artificial intelligence what runs that report for you on the disc assessment?
Pretty much. I mean, I'm sure it's a good form of it and it's getting better. And actually, I've got where now I can analyze an interview and it will help narrow down who I'm talking to's disc.
Okay, so you're using AI to run transcripts of your interviews through?
Yes. Not
That is-
all of them. Just one when I've got a particular client or person that looks really good, but I just want to solidify what I'm thinking. I'll run them. I don't run them all, no, but the ones
Okay.
that I want to move forward with.
Do you load it with metrics, Cheryl? Like, are these recordings or are they just audio you're doing?
Well, Zoom does a transcript. So
Okay.
I feed the transcript into it.
Okay. So what you're looking at there, we've added in. Thing is, it did not add. Yeah, it does. There's house pressures. You look at all the different stuff it can add in. Now let's take it to the next step. Let's say that we want to use this photo for our social media. I'm going to create text and keywords with hashtags for social media. So instead of thinking out what we've got to add in to our marketing, there's your text coming up right now. There is your keywords right there with the hashtags with them to make it in your social media. Josh, how long would it have taken you to write that description we've got up there?
45 minutes probably.
Right. And we just did this in a matter of just a few, less than a minute. And one of the things that people need to do is they need to communicate with their community, spread the knowledge out there. Everybody doesn't know who you are. They don't know the problems that you solve. So it's a great way to build your marketing to a higher level.
I do want to add something here, Jerry,
Sure.
but in case you have someone on here that hadn't tried it that may do it, always check stuff before you send it.
Yeah, you always want to check it. You always want to make sure it's right. But it's pretty unreal what you can do with this stuff. The creative world of this is something else. It is truly something else that can really move you to a whole new level in your business. So look into it. There's a lot of systems out there. See what works for you, but put it to use. Cheryl, anything else you want to add tonight?
No more than just tell everybody to give it a shot. What have you got to lose?
Okay. Josh, anything else from you?
Well, Cheryl, nuclear war. That's what you have to lose.
I'm talking about. Oh, I did find out one thing that might be good for ladies here. You can feed in about a half a dozen ingredients that you've got in your cabinet, and it'll tell you what you can fix with them.
Interesting.
I have done that actually, Cheryl. I've actually had stuff on the counter and so what can I make? What can I make? And it'll. So yeah, I have done that. It's pretty fun.
So it's not just for the ladies.
Okay,
No.
so what you're saying is you could use artificial intelligence as a cookbook.
Yeah, I developed a workout plan with it.
Okay. Well, if you joined us, I hope this has been a time of value for you. If you're listening to us on the replay, same thing. We really appreciate you being there. We appreciate you listening to us. And like I said, we've changed to our new time. We're now doing this broadcast on Thursday nights, Thursday evenings at 7 p.m. Eastern time. Just trying to change things around a little bit, seeing how we can free up some time on some Fridays because I have a lot of calls to make on Fridays. And I know Cheryl does, Josh. We've got a lot of things to get done. So we want to thank you for being here. It's an honor. It's a privilege. It's a pleasure. And if we can help you at CVC Success Group in any way in taking that business to where you dream of it going, reach out to us. Let's have a conversation. We'd love to be able to help you. And with that, we'll see you next week on the next episode of the CVC Home Service Success Network. Thank you for joining us. Have a fantastic weekend ahead. Calling for some nice spring weather in the south. I know some of you people still up north, but it was up in the 80s down here today. Springtime is coming in. Dogwood trees are blooming. Grass is growing. We're mowing grass and everything else down here. So thank you again. Have a good evening and a week ahead.